Hello, good afternoon everyone. That's good. We like to kick off our activities in a little unorthodox way. Is that okay? Have I got your permission to challenge you today? Great. Everybody ate their lunch at this stage, have they? Because I don't want anybody still with their mouth full. All right. So I'd like to invite everybody to stand up, please. Just and indulge us for a moment. So you know when you move your body, you think differently. You make better decisions. And we often sit for a lot of the day, and even some of us don't go outside during the day. Is anybody guilty of that? We stay at our computers, we look into the screen, and we chomp away at our lunch, yeah? Yeah, we're all very guilty of that. And the Public Library of Science has recently released some data in the US, or in Australia, so just over the ditch, saying sitting and being inactive is more hazardous than smoking. So we're all at risk. We're all putting ourselves in danger every day. And if you combine that with alcohol and smoking, it doubles it again. All right, so I'm sure you're all clean living. So this little exercise will be fun for you all, and you can take it back to the office. I would like you to put your hands out in front. Okay, now I want you to feel all the tense things that you're worried about in the office. Okay, all those things you haven't done today and that you have to do before the weekend, I'd like you to put them in your hands. Okay, feel them in your hands. And then just squeeze them tight. Okay? Doesn't that feel good? Okay? All right, now I want you to pull your arms in with some gusto into your chest and go boom. Okay? Try that. Boom. Boom. And then I want you to get down and touch the ground. Okay? Oh, you hear that? Symphony of cracks there. That was quite impressive. Can you believe? Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, and boom. And down. And boom. And boom. Come on, we have to lift this roof. Boom. Nice. And boom. And boom. Getting louder. Come on. Boom. Okay, just another 25. Okay, let's leave it at that. All right. Okay, you missed it. You missed it. And I apologize to those people in high heels and short skirts. And so, yes, it's okay it's not for everyone. That's an exercise that I came across. John Ratey wrote a book called Spark. He speaks about the importance of movement in education, in schools. And they have had some staggering results in schools in both discipline as well as academic performances from putting exercise first every day. So sometimes I feel that when we're running workshops, like we're just preaching to the converted. The same people will actually continue what they do well, and others will ignore it, which is very much reinforced in the study that has been completed here, that you can literally bring a horse to water but you can't make them drink. And how much is your responsibility as employers to give that guideline? You're inheriting somebody's bad habits from all their life, and suddenly it's your responsibility. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? So how do we start to create a culture? And this is where recruitment is so important, to create the right culture that you know when you're joining an organization that you have an alignment, that you have a strong culture. And again, another thing that popped out of the results for me was the need for that senior leadership involvement, the need to actually mimic it. We do mimic each other, and so when we're in an environment where we actually are around people, the social side of it, that do look after themselves and are aware, it actually rubs off. In fact, if you are a smoker, there's probably about a 61% chance that some of your friend will be a smoker too. So we're a little bit more impacted by each other than we even recognize. You know, our limbic system is open, so we are all in a little bit of like a soup. And so how do we start to create an environment that actually is caring and about well-being and looking after each other? So we've seen some amazing results, but I know when I go in to run a workshop, about 1 in 10 people will actually make a change. And they feel fantastic. But for the other 90%, it's sometimes just too hard to change behaviors. And so choosing the right organization is essential. One of the things that Pip and I were just speaking about is in this survey, how much do we value, we talk about physical, mental and emotional well-being, but what about the spiritual well-being? What about what gets you up in the morning? And I can understand as employers. Who's employers in the room here? Yeah. So you think by helping people be good at their job, you're fulfilling your obligation. And perhaps there's a strong argument that that is enough.
or providing a good social environment. And you know, that is true. If we have an engaging job that we love, it contributes to all other areas of our well-being. So there is a strong argument to go, well, I help people really define their purpose and meaning, which is that spiritual well-being. We help them achieve that in their life. And how much do we have to rely on the individual to professionalize their well-being, their physical or financial or community well-being? It all dovetails together. So it's really interesting, and I'm heartened to see this sort of work happening in New Zealand, where it's actually a really exciting time. You know, as you hear from Chris and others, with the advent of technology, our job is becoming really interesting, and we're starting to get support from other areas where we can bring tools and bring awareness to people, because I think people are waking up, and that's what this study emphasizes as well. The last 10-15 years with positive psychology and, you know, awareness around emotional intelligence and regulation, I think it's bringing a lot of things up to the surface. It's bringing a lot of awareness to things that perhaps we would just pack away. And we're seeing it right through from schools now and coming into the workplace. A lot of it is how our society is working together, and I do feel we are connecting better, we are waking up as individuals and as communities, and I'm really delighted to be part of this study here, and I hope to connect with you in different ways in bringing this more alive in the workplace. So thanks for inviting us here.